Hi, I'm Mike Glass with Orion Technical Solutions. Today I'm going to go through something that I teach beginners when they're learning to troubleshoot. I call it the walk the dog method. It's really useful for troubleshooting your basic electrical diagrams. If you're dealing with typical systems, they're not huge systems, it's all in a panel and you got, a few pages of electrical diagram or one page or so. And it's basically just troubleshooting across the rung, walking across the rung. So what I'm going to do is look at my white bench here. I have a circuit on our little trainers. And basically what I've wired is this top rung. You can ignore the rest. But if you look, I've got wire coming through, power to the fuse 1. It goes through circuit breaker 2, so there's fuse 1, circuit breaker 2. And then it goes to switch 3, which is on right now. But this PL13, the white light, is not on. It should be. So, they call and say, hey, we've got a problem. The power available, light's not on, whatever. And so technician goes out and troubleshoot. Well, we can start guessing and part swapping and Easter egging, as I like to call it. Swap the white light, change this, change that. But who knows? Maybe it's the switch. Maybe it's something else. So let's go ahead and troubleshoot this using walk the dog. So walk the dog, what I would do is I'm going to put the negative lead on typically the most negative point, and then I go to the most positive point to verify my meter works and I do have voltage. So then I will start walking down the line. I can half split if there's a whole bunch of stuff, like some systems you'll have 4, 5, 8, 10, 12 permissive switches and so forth. Maybe cut that in half and then, based on what you find, go either direction. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and, just like I said there, I'm going to go to 6 for the negative, and then I'm going to go to pin 1 for the positive, which is just my power coming right from my power supply. And so looks like I've got 24 volts, which is what I expect in this. It's a 24 volt power supply, so we're good. So now I'm just going to jump over to terminal block 11, which is the input to fuse 1. So terminal block 11. Okay, I've got 24 volts there, so it's all good up to the fuse. Well, now let's check fuse 12. I'm just going to walk right down the line. Well, that's 24 volts, so what's it tell me? It tells me it's good to here. Now I go to terminal block 13, which is the input to the circuit breaker, 24 volts. Next, I'm going to go to 14. Terminal block 14, I have 24 volts, which tells me circuit breaker's good. Now I'm going to go to the input of the switch, which is terminal block 15, and I get 24 volts. I'm going to go to 16, 24 volts. So I've got voltage all the way to here. And now I go to terminal block 39. And terminal block 39, I got 24 volts. There's power to the light. So now I'm going to check terminal block 40. Well, terminal block 40, people forget to check. They assume you got power to the device, it works. They always forget that current has to flow all the way through the circuit. Well, if there's an open on the common, somewhere between, say, 6 and 40, or between 40 and the light, that will cause a problem. Now, we should get 0 volts there, but we get 16.9. If it's not 0, we know we have a problem. So that tells me I've got to open something going on between pin 6 and 40. But why is it 16 volts? Well, I'll talk about that in just a second. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and say, well, I know that there's a wire between pin 6 and pin 40, which I can even see that wire. It's right here, pin 6 to pin 40. That wire should have this 0 volts across it, or real close to 0. So why does it have higher voltage? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a side, eeny, meeny, miny, moe, and I'm going to unconnect it to start tracing the wire. So I check. Oh, look at that. So it looks like whoever did this install, man, I don't know. That guy needs to be calibrated. Basically, if I reconnect this terminal correctly, the lamp works. Now, I could have checked a lot of other things and so forth, but I just kind of wanted to show the idea of checking across the line.